Eminem, you're muted.
Sorry, guys. You know me too well to wait. I'm here. All right. Let me pull everything up for today. Let me lock in. All right. Last session was a lot about time management. So to recap a few different time management things, we're talking about, what it's like being an executive, and one of the big things is time management. So to recap briefly a little bit of that, what we had, some of my major things is blocking off time up front as opposed to blocking up like little blocks. So it'd be like, I'm off Thursdays, or I'm off 12 to 5 every Thursday, or my days don't start until noon on Thursdays, and then move your calendar around. The other big one being a T matrix, where you've got a line at the top like a T, and then a line on the side, which I've only got a little one over here. This is everything I got to do. This is other cool things I could do, like for the house or something. And then each day I select one item and I put it up here. That's how you get one item done per day and actually get shit done versus a bunch of random things that end up getting done. Next thing we talked about was the communication framework. The primary communication framework I want all of you guys working on is what is happening, why it's happening, and so what am I doing about it? What is happening, why it's happening, and so what am I doing about it? If you miss what is happening and you're just like, yeah, things are good, blah, 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 people don't feel like you know what's happening, and they're going to try to jump in and micromanage you. If you don't know why it's happening, then they start grilling you on their own thoughts on why. So they'll be like, well, I think what that is lack of accountability. So I want you yelling at everybody tomorrow. And if you don't have also what you're doing about it, people will start to tell you what to do. So what is happening, why it's happening, so what are you going to do about it? Okay. The other thing I said for speaking is the pause down, pause, and speaking in frameworks. So when you are an executive, you can't be rambling. You lose the privilege to ramble, not allowed. You need to be speaking with pause down, pause, meaning the end of my sentence is I pause, I move my voice down, and then I pause before the next sentence. And speaking frameworks or numbers. There's 3 specific things I want to make sure to bring up. There's a real pyramid to think about that topic. Well, really, when it comes to making sure that goes well, it's a bar stool. And so the three legs of that bar stool are X, Y, or Z. Okay. Pushback, issues, questions, thoughts, comments as it relates to that. Okay. Then we are rounding the corner and coming back. We are coming right back around. Okay. For those of you guys that are new, we're rounding the corner, coming right back around to feedback. For those of you guys that have been here for a round, we're here. Welcome back to feedback. If you've been here and you know about feedback, we're going to go back to the 5 pillars here. You've been to feedback. This is a great time for you to be like, oh shit, am I doing that? You know what? Why am I not doing that? Maybe I'll ask Nancy why I'm not doing that. Or I've been doing it. I don't see the results that I was expecting. Or I'm giving feedback like this. Is that right? So feel free to ask questions in here to get that next level of nuance that you can get by being retaught something you already know. But feedback. All right. We are now at the beginning of the curriculum where we're going to feedback. Feedback is a tool that you use to motivate people by being clear on what their behavior is and not judging their behavior and allowing them to judge it themselves. So if someone knocked on 2 doors or made 3 phone calls or wrote 1 email and I said, hey man, you knocked on 3 doors today, and I said nothing else, they would feel like I'm judging them. But I'm not. It is them judging themselves, like them feeling that level of like, oh shit, I'm not doing well is actually like, that's actually a thing of you, So we want them to feel that judgment, not because we're pieces of shit, but we are the gutters to move people to center. Our job is to be the one who's able to tell them what to do, and then see what they're doing and move them along the right way. Okay. So how feedback works is first, it's the exact same phrase every time to start feedback off, asking for permission. Can I give you some feedback? Do you have a second? Are you open to something? Mind if I tell you something? Something that lets this person know feedback's coming my way. And they can truly say like, nah, man, I don't want it right now. Like, I'm pissed. I know what I did. I don't want to fucking hear it. That's fine. But some simple phrase. We want it to be the exact same phrase because what we always want to do as managers is have anything that we do be consistent so that it becomes the culture. If a bunch of random things happen on your team, it doesn't feel like my experience on this team is different than my experience anywhere else. So my behavior on this team doesn't need to be different than it needs to be anywhere else. Once it's you've created a consistent thing of these things are all happening consistently here, people start to act different. It's like if at the movie theater it was just like you just like walk into a room, I bet you people will be on their phones all the time. But it's like this whole thing happens. And so you are like, I'm in movie theater mode. So sure, there's the thing that says don't go on your phone, but you just wouldn't anyways. So true, when people are at or work at your company and they're like, I just had a Monday mashup. And this is the only place where they call it a Monday mashup. And he just used this phrase that he always uses. And that's only a phrase that's used on this team. And we look at this leaderboard and nobody else has that leaderboard. Now it feels like all the other behaviors that are expected of me exclusively in this org are being actually reinforced by me just seeing I'm inside of a new room, and this room is this org, if you're picking up what I'm putting down. So that's why we want to have feedback of the exact same question every single time. Cool. Second thing with feedback. So I'm going to say first, can I give you some feedback? Do you have a second? Do you are you open to something? Whatever. Then I need to state something that is either physically or audibly the truth with no interpretation. So the way I was taught about feedback is it needs to be either visible on a camera or audible on a recording. So this is not when you are mean to the customer, when you're not fully present. Those are interpretations. This is when you finish your sentence and you stated the customer's name at the end. This is when I look at your screen and you're clearly on your phone. Those are not interpretations, those are facts. It needs to be that, because otherwise they will not receive the feedback, because they will always, us too, by the way, this is not a they thing, I shouldn't say it like that, but we will as humans always find a way to comfort ourselves. And the first way that we'll comfort ourselves is that didn't actually happen. That's not what was, I was paying attention, whether we say it out loud or we say it to our head. So now whatever I say, it's like, doesn't even fucking land. Okay. So when you tell your reps, like, dude, you got to put more effort in. Dude, I feel like you're just not getting it. Dude, you got to be like more, think more about what you're saying. All they're hearing is like, my boss is a dick. I think I might get fired. That wasn't true. This guy's an idiot. Where if instead you're saying like, when your voice ends on the up, or when you speak that many words per minute, like these can't be walked away from. Okay, so it has to be a fact. And the last thing, which is the hardest for everybody, I feel like, is you then state how that behavior impacts them as it relates to what they are motivated by or give a shit about. So if you say, hey, Mike, when you wear a black shirt, it really pisses me off. Or when I told you not to wear black shirts and you're wearing a black shirt. I can't argue it. Yes, that is a black shirt. Correct. I am wearing that. But I'm like, I don't really give a shit about you being happier. Like when I tell my kids, hey guys, when you diddle daddle all morning, we can't get out of the house fast. They're like, I don't want to get out of the house fast. I don't care. Right. But instead, when I've changed to, hey guys, when you take too long to get dressed, we have less time to hang out in the morning. I've had my kids, not every day, I'm not fucking that good, but come downstairs and dressed, like after, like they wake up, get dressed, come downstairs, and they're like, I want to color. I mean, now we have more time, and I'm like, that's it. I didn't have to give feedback. I didn't have to say shit. And I never came down. I wasn't like, fuck you for well, maybe I was one or two times, let's be honest. But they didn't get dressed because they were like, I don't want dad to yell at me. They got dressed because they were like, I want to have more time. So how does this relate to you guys? So when you're talking to your team, people are typically motivated by, where's a good, I have a list here. So we're looking for, these are good ones you can steal. Let's put it this way: competition, status, money, family, value, comfort. So when you work on Saturdays, that's what's going to make sure that you stay on the top of the leaderboard. Nobody can ever beat you. When you work on Saturdays, that's what makes you that role model for the team that everyone's going to look up to. When you work on Saturdays, you put yourself in a position to get more customers and make more money. When you work on Saturdays, that makes it so that all the other days that you're out not hanging with your family are worth it, because you're making that money for them. when you work on Saturdays, this is what really shows what integrity is and how you are embodying integrity. When you work on Saturdays, that makes it so that you don't have to stress out Monday through Friday. You could just chill. It's the exact same fact said in whatever 6 different ways, and only 1 or 2 maybe of those 6 would actually fucking work. So the same person, if I were to say, hey man, when you work on Saturdays, that helps you be at the top of the leaderboard. If they're not motivated by competition, I might as well just said fucking like the Peanuts lady. It doesn't do anything. Okay. This would be like on a sales call if you were saying to a customer, like, hey, when you have this feature, it's going to help you really be able to move whatever, have your day-to-day be easier. And the CDO is like, I don't even use this. I don't care about my day-to-day being easy. So that was a waste of time. So you can screenshot or take these if you want, or either way, just know this. So my push to you guys is to just think about for a minute while I have this pulled up. I'm going to do a moment of silence. I want you guys to think about for a minute of the people on your team. This is a rhetorical question here. What do you think they're motivated by or care about? Like they may not be motivated by whatever competition, but they might care about it. So I'm not asking you to answer the question. You don't have to put this anywhere, but I want you to think about that. Each person on your team, what are they motivated by? Cool. By the way, I'm going to highlight this one here. I found every top rep, like top rep, is either motivated by money or sometimes more often comfort. They're like, I don't want to be fucking bothered. That's like what they're motivated by. So what I often do with the top guys is like, hey man, when you do blah blah blah, nobody has to come and bother you asking you questions, or nobody's then looking at your shit. Cool. All right. So a couple of rules of feedback. Here's the biggest one you're gonna fuck up. I say this with love, by the way. I fuck it up too. You will give feedback. When I say in your definition of feedback in your head prior to 10 minutes ago is, I'm willing to bet, when someone really fucks up, you got to tell them you suck, some version of it. I want to pull that out. What I find is the bigger the issue is, the stronger the defense mechanism is inside of each person's body. So when you really fuck up, that's really going to hurt. And so even if I say the facts, even if I say it motivates you, you leave doing things like this. Yeah, but I really did this thing over here good. Or like, well, it's all good, because you have to actually calm yourself down, because you are like, I fucked up. So it doesn't work. It almost inevitably just causes the person to get wicked defensive and just think that you're a dick and want to get back at you to even things out. So instead, I want you guys to think about feedback. Maybe we need a new word. I'm going to use feedback as the word. That's all I have right now. As micro moments, micro gutter ball moments. This is like, the other way I've said this as the, what's the word before? Broken glass theory. For those aren't familiar with broken glass theory, the idea was like, if in like these neighborhoods that are like really dumpy, everybody's doing drugs or whatever, they're like, instead of us like trying to arrest everybody, like what we'll do is instead of us trying to only solve big problems, if we can make these neighborhoods look nice and feel nice, people want to act nice in those neighborhoods. So like, let's fix all the broken glass windows. Same thing here. If I give feedback to you on in here for this, watch. I go, hey Tom, can I give you some feedback? When you look at the screen, it lets me know that you're paying attention. It makes you want to give you more information for your team. James, can I give you some feedback? When you are looking without anything else in your periphery, it puts you in a position to actually learn more information to help your team and make you do better at the company. Lee, can I give you some feedback? When you're taking notes on your screen, it actually helps you to have this time not be a waste of your time. Hey Andrew, can I give you some feedback? When you are nodding along, it gets me more engaged, which gets you more engaged. Hey James, can I give you some feedback? When you are looking at the screen and looking at down and taking notes, this helps you make more money. None of that. There's a couple of things I hope have you guys notice. The first is it was all like this. I didn't get animated. Dude, can I give you some feedback? Lee, when you are looking at the screen and you're taking notes, this is what I'm talking about, guys. Dude, this is what I'm talking about, Lee. I know you guys do that. I do that too. And this is also not in a group, which would be real bad, me going, hey, James, can I give you some feedback? When your background is like got all the different racetracks, it's wicked disturbing. And it makes it so hard for us to pay attention to. I told you last time you got to stop doing that. I didn't do any of that. This is just, I am making a statement. This is a sentence. So what's happening is I'm saying something very, very small. I'm giving feedback on, you're looking at the camera. You are taking notes, or you're not looking somewhere else. Me doing that causes you to then also actually pay attention, actually push back when I ask you guys to push back, because now you are, I've given you feedback on one bit, which makes you feel like I'm looking at all of this shit. And so you just naturally start to behave better. So you don't need to wait until the person really fucks up. It could just be like, hey, when I join a meeting and you're 2 minutes late, it makes it really challenging for you to be in a position to make more money, because now we got to spend more time talking about stuff. That said, anyways, let's keep moving forward. Put it on the really small things. Rule number 2, which has been a new rule that I didn't realize that I'm doing it more, but it has made a huge impact on the amount of feedback I give, is you just move on fast. Move on fast, real fast. If you give feedback and you leave this pause, or you say like, stop doing that, keep it up, which is what I used to do, they always will come defend themselves. Yeah, but I was doing that actually because I was just taking good notes. It wasn't I was looking at, I was actually taking notes when you were doing that, no matter what. Okay. So instead I move on immediately. So here's how the feedback always sounds. Hey man, can I give you some feedback? When you look at the screen, they put you in a spot where you can make a little bit more money. So when we were talking about feedback, what I wanted to make sure that we were doing is that we were covering, I'm like basically doing a crossfade, like on like the, like song to song. So just move on so fast that they're like whiplash.
Is that for positive and negative feedback?
Yes, but in particular for negative. But yes, thank you for the question, Tom. On the negative though is when I use it in particular, because I usually more because I'm panicking. But then when I realize people don't have enough time to argue about it, and so it just sits a little better, and also it lets me kind of chill. Like, yo, you're gonna give this feedback, Manzi, but just you're gonna move on. It's all fucking good. Really helps there. And then I think it also carries home this message of like, no big deal. I'm not shitting on you. You're not going to your fucking room. You did not show up on time. So on your scorecard here, it says, I noticed it. You noticed it. You noticed that I noticed. That's it. So if you want your team to make this many changes, you need to give feedback on this many things. And then all the big problems and all the other changes will get in line. And the only way you really fuck that up is if you're not using the same question in the beginning, or you're not being even toned. If you miss the question in the beginning, now they don't see this world as a culture. So they're just like going to respond to a little feedback, not all of it. And if you're not even toned, no matter what you say, they're going to feel like you were a dick about it. And so now they resent you. Because remember, it says, I can fire you on your forehead. And so when you say you did this and it was incorrect, what they hear is, you're a piece of shit. Fuck you. I hate you so much. So that's why it's like so important that you're even toned. Like, you were late. Because what they hear is, you were late, you fucking piece of shit. That's what they hear. And if you don't believe me, think about if your boss were to say to you, hey, can I give you some feedback? When you're 2 minutes late for the meeting, it makes it challenging for us to get a lot of stuff done in this meeting. Wouldn't you fucking lose your mind? Maybe just me. I'd be so panicked. I'd be like, oh my God, what else is he noticing? And yeah, you can imagine. So again, you can see now, hopefully in that last moment where your butt puckered up just now, how that one little bit of feedback makes a big difference. Okay. So I do actually want to come around and ask for some examples of this. So I would love somebody to give me feedback, positive or negative, about this session, even as if I'm you're my training coach. Like I'm trying to get better at being a trainer. What should I do? Tom, go ahead.
Well, I have some real feedback for you if you're open to it, Mike. The sales rep call this morning at 8. We had a brand new guy that just started yesterday, and he obviously was paying attention for Beck, I think his name is. He came across in the all new hire call, and he was mimicking a lot of the things you said. So I know that it really hit the spot for him, and he's excited to progress in his career.
Thank you very much.
So thank you.
I appreciate it. What else? Quilling, I'd love to give me negative or positive feedback on today, on my outfit, on my anything, like tiniest shit.
Can you hear me? Yep. Mike, I would say, if I could give you some feedback, if you're open to it, Mike.
I'm
you can talk quite fast, and sometimes I can't keep up taking notes. So sometimes when you're hitting these great points that I really want to soak in, maybe just slow down a little bit and
all good. Sounds great. Thank you for the feedback. And I would even say, I could tell Jeff you can see you're kind of nervous is wrong. That's too strong a word. Uncomfortable maybe is the better word to
I
give
was
the
trying to
negative.
think of something negative. It's
No,
hard, Mike.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. But what I want to show there is even in this practice environment, you could see how you kind of stuttered through a little bit. Hey, Mike, sometimes you kind of speak too fast, and it is great. Everything what you're saying is amazing, but
Yeah.
And so now you could see how it doesn't land nearly as good as, hey, Jeff, can I give you some feedback? In the calls, when you speak too fast, it makes it hard for the people that you're training to actually get that impact that you're looking to have. So I'd love to have the next person go. It feels less painful. J-Mac, hit me with something.
Hey, Mike, are you open to some feedback?
Sure.
I tell you, this morning's class, Amber was really impacted by what you said today. And I actually text you to let you know that you did a great training. You also mentioned that you love your car, and I see you on Instagram in your car. What kind of car do you drive most of the time?
Cool. It's Range Rover HST, Range Rover Sport HST. I fucking love it so much. I'm motivated by impacts, so that works. How about you, Lee? Can you give me some feedback? Think about how I'm motivated.
Sorry. Yes, Mike, you open for some feedback?
Sure.
I appreciate when you go through this content that you speak with authority. It allows me to stay focused and very clear about why I'm here.
Thank you for that. My pushback to you there, speak with authority. What the fuck does that mean? So I'll push back at you because I know that you've been through this. So I'm like, speak with authority. What do you mean? Cool. Asness, give me one.
Hey, Mike, are you open to some feedback at the moment?
Yes.
All right, great. I want to start by saying I really appreciate how available you are to everybody in this group and to anyone who wants support from you. Opening up your calendar for one-on-ones is really a gift to all of us. I want to add one more thing. You mentioned your car and earlier conversation here. I just want you to be careful driving and talking to the phone at the same time. I think that could be a distraction for you. And I know how much you value your kids. And I'd like to see them have their dad around for a long time.
Awesome. But don't do the sandwich, Asness. You're showing your age, trying to give me a freaking feedback sandwich. No, because but by the way, the second you said, I want to start by saying, I got nervous.
Got it.
So just, hey, Mike, can you give some feedback? When you're in your car and you're looking at your phone, it puts you in a position where you might get really hurt, knowing that you care about your kids. Keep that in mind as you're in your car.
Gotcha.
Anyway, okay. So my push to you guys this week would be right now. I guarantee that right now in this moment, you can go give feedback to every single person on your team. I would encourage you to do that over Slack, over text, over whatever, and have it be on something small. I consider it's no good until somebody's respond back with like, what the fuck are you talking about? Or like question mark, because they're like, why are you giving me this feedback? What the hell's going on? But then that can now become a little bit of a thing. Okay. Love you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for your time.